It's big, it's bright, and it's coming to an eastern horizon near you very soon. But how do you take pictures of the full moon using just a smartphone? At dusk this Saturday, October's full moon, known as the Hunter's Moon, it will appear in the east as a beautiful, muted orange orb. A memorable sight that happens only once every moonth, 29 days. This particular full moon will also drift into Earth's shadow in space to cause a partial lunar eclipse. That will be best seen in Europe, Africa, and Asia, where our natural satellite will lose its brightness, which will make it easier to take photos, and will appear to have a small, fuzzy bite taken out of it. This slight lunar eclipse will be entering its very late stages just as those in northeastern US watch a full moonrise, but the initial orangey color of the lunar surface, a phenomenon that only takes place for a few minutes each month, is certainly worth taking photos of. Here's how. To get a good photo of the moon rising, you obviously need to be in a position where you can see low down to the eastern horizon. A second or third floor usually works well, though you'll also have to hope there is no low cloud. The telephoto lens on your smartphone, if you have one, will be hugely useful. However, avoid using the digital zoom mode, which all cameras have, because it merely crops the image. Another technique is to find a clip-on zoom lens, which cost a few dollars. If you have any telescope, consider pointing it at the moon and taking a quick photo with your smartphone through the eyepiece. It works so well. The key to a good image of the moon with a smartphone is keeping it steady, which is best done if you use a small tripod attached to a universal smartphone holder. Another good way to keep your smartphone reasonably still is to rest it on a ledge or lean it against a flat surface. Touching the screen to physically take a shot introduces vibrations, which cause blur. Instead, use either a remote shutter release, such as a Bluetooth remote, or the volume rockers on a pair of earphones, either wired or wireless, to activate the shutter button. If you're using a tripod, then you could also use a smartphone's built-in timer delay for a few seconds, which will allow the smartphone to settle after you've touched its screen. On an iPhone, touch the moon to focus it, then touch it again for a few seconds, which will lock the focus. On the right-hand side will be an image of the sun, which you should drag downwards, to reduce the ISO and exposure, until you begin to see detail on the moon. Third-party apps such as Camera Plus 2, VSCO, and Yamera typically allow you more control over your smartphone's camera settings than the built-in apps. For example, they let you change the ISO and shutter speed, but they also capture in RAW, a larger file format that can be more easily post-processed without losing image quality.